to undergo a $600 million transformation. And police on Grand Bahama are investigating the circumstances surrounding a shooting incident involving a 6-year-old. The Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, the Grand Bahama Shipyard announcing that it's embarking on a $600 million transformation poised to reclaim its status as the world's largest cruise ship repair facility. The expansion, which has been given the green light by government, promising a multi-billion-dollar boost to Grand Bahama's economy. Raven Davis has tonight's top story.
GBSL announcing through a press statement that in collaboration with its partners Carnival Corporation and Royal Caribbean Group, the project has been given the green light by government. The price tag of $600 million includes the construction, delivery to Freeport, and commissioning of 2 world-class floating docks that will allow the shipyard to service cruise ships, as well as much of the world's commercial shipping fleet. In April of 2019, one of the shipyard's largest docks was damaged following a major industrial accident. Then Hurricane Dorian caused damage to a second dock just months later, this hampering the company's efforts to operate at full capacity. The 2 new floating dry docks, which are under construction in China, is expected for delivery in 2025 and 2026. The nation's chief, the Honorable Philip Davis, hailing the expansion project as a new and promising chapter in the story of Grand Bahama. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honorable Chester Cooper, noting that the timing of the Grand Bahama Shipyard expansion project coincides beautifully with our efforts to revitalize Grand Bahama's tourism industry. This project is just the impetus that Grand Bahama needs to further boost the island's economic growth. He says it is a strong show of confidence that the Grand Bahama Shipyard is establishing the world's largest ship repair facility in the Bahamas. And Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, also remarking that this $600 million transformation of Grand Bahama Shipyard marks a monumental investment for Grand Bahama. The shipyard has always been an important contributor to Grand Bahama's economy, and this ambitious project will continue the revitalization of our local economy. She says as the shipyard undergoes this remarkable evolution, it will serve as a beacon of progress, entrepreneurial spin-off opportunities, and a renewed sense of pride to the people of Grand Bahama. Together, we embark on a journey toward a brighter and more prosperous future. GBPA Chairman Sarah St. George also congratulating Carnival Corp and Royal Caribbean Group on this historic achievement. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, meantime, Carnival Cruise Line's $200 million project continuing to progress on Grand Bahama. Next week, Carnival will hold business community meetings for Bahamians to learn more about Celebration Key and the commercial opportunities it will bring. The town hall will kick off with an introductory session and project overview, and will include breakout sessions at the Grand Lucayan covering construction, retail, shore excursions, and employment information. Carnival Cruise Line representatives will join Grand Bahama Minister, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and the Grand Bahama business community members. Once complete, Celebration Key will be capable of welcoming 2 million guests each year, with the first cruise calling on the destination in July 2025. Now, the introduction session and project overview is from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and from 4 to 7 p.m. is a breakout information session at the Grand Lucayan. Once again, the information is slated for October 19th. In other news, members of Parliament among those paying their respects to former senior cabinet minister, the late Honorable Obadiah Wilshcombe, as he lay in the state in the foyer of the House of Assembly today. Also, the immediate family of the Wilshcombes was also on hand. The Governor General, the nation's leader, followed by the Chief Justice, Deputy Prime Minister, and Leader of Opposition, all paying their last respect to Wilshcombe. The Deputy Prime Minister indicated that the fallen cabinet minister was a trailblazer who served with distinction as a former Minister of Tourism, leaving behind cutting-edge initiatives and a strong foundation for his successors to build on. Stay tuned to the Bahamas Tonight at 7 p.m. for a full report. Well, here in Grand Bahama, the construction of the final resting place of Member of Parliament, Minister and Parliamentarian, the Honorable Obie Wilshcombe, is near completion. A special funeral service is set to take place at the Christ the King Church on Saturday, followed by the interment in West Grand Bahama. Our Aja Quant visited the site and has the details in this report.
Final preparations underway here in West End for the final resting place of Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting and Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, the Honorable Obie Wilshcombe. Many residents, PLP supporters, councillors and opposition members coming to see the progress being made here.
When I pulled up here, I was almost next to tears to see what my brothers have done for our great fellow comrade, Mr. Obadiah Wilshcombe.
Just days until the Honorable Obie Wilshcombe is laid to rest. His final resting place is just about completed. The memorial site, designed to commemorate the life and contributions of the late Member of Parliament, has attracted attention from many. Chief Councillor of West Grand Bahama, Jimmy Smith, telling us that the community of West Grand Bahama came together, presenting a plan to the family and government, which is now the memorial site that is being constructed.
I think when you now have the opportunity to look at the B-rolls or what ZNS is now playing and on social media, those of us who really didn't see the in-depth of what he was doing personally now come to appreciate him even more and all the work that he was doing within the community that we didn't even know about.
Brookhouse Construction has been entrusted with the development of the memorial site, which is situated in West End. The memorial site is to provide a lasting tribute to whom the community describes as a giant of a man.
He's a legend, he deserves it, you know. You gotta have something where kids can come by and years to come and realize that this man did a lot for West End over the years. The painter, the tile man, and the plasters here, guys, so by tomorrow, by 12 o'clock, you should have a complete.
Members of the Free National Movement also weighing in, acknowledging the significance of this tribute.
We are all Bahamian, and certainly I believe that Obie was well loved across the political divide and beyond. And so this is a beautiful and fitting place for his final resting place.
I think, you know, what the residents of West End is doing for him and honoring him in this way, I think is entirely appropriate and reflective of the service that he's tried to give them over the years.
Now, Minister Wilshcombe's body will be laid to rest on Saturday, October 14th, where many residents will travel from Freeport to West End to watch his burial. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Aja Quant.
Thanks, Aja. Now, once again, plans are in place for a memorial service for Wilshcombe on Friday at 6 p.m. at the Bishop Michael Eldon Auditorium. His funeral service on Grand Bahama is this Saturday at Christ the King, and the interment follows at the West End Cemetery. Well, you can call it being in the right place at the right time. That is the tale of a young Bahamian man who has become quite popular for his artistry over the years. In fact, he now holds the esteemed title of His Excellency. But what many may not be aware of is just how he got his start. And believe it or not, he credits his genesis to the late Honorable Obie Wilshcombe.
Since meeting Obie Wilshcombe, my career has made a quantum leap, and I became a household name.
In 2014, he was a young man with a big dream of presenting a portrait he created of Pope Francis to the pontiff himself. Hoping to get assistance from government, he decided to stand in front of the House of Assembly with his painting. He observed officials walking by one after another, but the Minister of Tourism at the time, Obie Wilshcombe, stopped to observe his portrait and took a moment to have a conversation with him.
His questions were like, who are you, and how come you're not known as you should? I think you have the talent that the country needs to recognize, and you have the potential for your work and your name to be known worldwide.
So said, so done. Following his encounter, he was commissioned to create incredible portraits that would give him worldwide exposure.
Whenever celebrities come to the country, the Ministry of Tourism would commission me, and I would get to meet a lot of celebrities. So I met Usain Bolt and Dan Marino and Clay Thompson, and these were through the connections of Obie Wilshcombe. For me, it was great that somebody from government believed in me. He never asked if I was PLP or FNM.
And to think it all started because he took a leap of faith that led him to meet one person who would change the trajectory of his life permanently. Today, he proudly bears the distinguished title of His Excellency. And most recently, he received another special honor through the recommendation of Obi Roshkum. He was made the ambassador and permanent representative of the Bahamas to the United Nations Educational, Cultural, and Science Organization, UNESCO.
He told me earlier this year that in such a short time, the dream that he had of me being known worldwide has been realized. And I will always forever be grateful for him.
In a heartfelt tribute to his mentor, His Excellency Jamal Rule created a portrait of the man who he says changed his life forever, the late Honorable Obi Wilshcombe.
He helped me to the end, and I'm forever grateful.
Well, switching gears now, police on Grand Bahama are questioning a 44-year-old resident of Sunken Treasure Drive in connection with the shooting incident that has left a 6-year-old male child in hospital. Police reports indicate that it was sometime around 8 p.m. on Tuesday, October 10th, 2023, when they were notified of the incident by hospital officials. Assistant Superintendent of Police Stephen Rowe providing this update on the matter.
The police are investigating a matter that occurred shortly after 8 p.m. on last evening. At the initial stage of the investigation, it's reported that a 6-year-old child, male child, was brought into the Rand Hospital with apparent gunshot injuries to the lower abdomen area. And based on the police responding, they will receive information from a male who identified himself as the father, indicating that he would arrive home and met the 6-year-old lying in the bed, suffering from gunshot injuries. He would have immediately took that young child to the Rand Hospital, where he was seen by doctors and treated for his injuries, where he's still detained in serious but stable condition. A firearm was later recovered, and the father is assisting to detectives with the investigation.
Well, some good news to report tonight. Police on Grand Bahama reports that 55-year-old Romaine Addison Smith of number 8 Franham Drive has been found. Smith, who had kept officers at the Central Detective Unit for some time, is back home tonight. When we come back, the 51st annual conch cracking competition is now in the history books. We have the highlights and a whole lot more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery fully loaded with everything you need and extended hours. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Every Sunday from noon until 4 p.m., join us at Portobello's Restaurant at the Grand Lucayan for a delicious full buffet spread. Call 373-1333 for more information.
Calling all schools on Grand Bahama. Join ZNS Northern Service as we wage war on breast cancer by participating in the 2nd annual Pink Pumpkins for the Cure. Each school is required to create one pink pumpkin to help spread the message of prevention and early detection. For more details and to sign up for the competition, contact our marketing department at 359-5143. Pink Pumpkins for the Cure. No one fights alone.
Super S Motor Oil products now available at KMW Battery and Tires, Express Food Mart, Stop and Shop, and Chappie's Gas Station, 8 Mile Rock. The Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting recognizes October as the month of the older person. Activities include a church service at Calvary Bible Church on Tuesday, October 17th, and a Mind, Body, and Soul Forum at the Pro Cathedral of Christ the King.
Fluid Factory presents Rick Ross live in concert, Saturday, December 23rd at Gombe Park, Freeport. Early bird tickets, general $35, VIP $50, and platinum $85. Fluid Factory Skybox $150. See you there.
Calling all schools on Grand Bahama. Join ZNS Northern Service as we wage war on breast cancer by participating in the second annual Pink Pumpkins for the Cure. Each school is required to create one pink pumpkin to help spread the message of prevention and early detection. For more details and to sign up for the competition, contact our marketing department at 359-5143. Pink Pumpkins for the Cure. No one fights alone.
8:10 a.m. The Light. Coffee and conversation with me, Gigi. Waking you up each
The aim is to inspire you. The aim is to encourage you. It's a joy to come here each and every morning. I don't consider this work at all. I haven't worked a day in my life. That's how much I enjoy it.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The 51st Annual Conch Cracking Festival was yet another success for the East Grand Bahama community, with tons of games, food, and live entertainment for festival leaders. And festival leaders, rather, are already looking forward to next year. Shane Stubbs was there and has this report.
Games, entertainment, and of course, all things conch are elements that have made the Conch Cracking Festival a success in its now 51 years of existence. This year's festival in McLeanstown, East Grand Bahama, was no different, drawing residents and tourists from all over. Dubbed the festival capital, Senator the Honorable James Turner and Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, said the continued success of festivals in the area is a direct result of the community's hospitality.
You are at one of the premier island festivals in the Bahamas. This is the McLeanstown Conch Cracking Festival. You will experience the hospitality that only Bahamians can provide. You will experience a kindness, a peacefulness, a love, and a joy that really only exists in the islands of the Bahamas.
It just speaks to what is happening in East Grand Bahama. It speaks to your friendliness. It speaks to all of the positive things that are happening in East Grand Bahama.
And thanks to the committee's hard work and many corporate partners, Deputy Chief Counselor for East Grand Bahama, Daniel Bain, and General Manager for Grand Bahama's Ministry of Tourism Office, Nufalari Chudasing, are happy to see the festival continue to grow year by year.
And when you look at the background, who involved in it, Ministry of Tourism, where we have Mr. Turner, Mr. Kwesi Thompson, and we have all of the guests here, you all should be proud of yourselves.
I'd like to thank the committee for a wonderful job they've been doing and putting this festival back together. It's still a struggle, but we are 100% behind you.
51 years is a long time, and as you can imagine, some of the residents are very excited to see just how far this festival has come.
This used to be a tradition every year for me when I was a kid, because of course my birthday is the 12th. To come out here and to win the conch and spoon race was just absolutely phenomenal.
I came much when I was much younger, like probably was maybe like 6.
It keeps the residents together. It brings us all as one on this day.
You have a lot of people, they feel like they shouldn't come because it's so far, but it's worth the drive. The food and just the ambiance of the event. It's magnificent.
They culminated with the festival's main event, the Conch Cracking Competition, which featured categories in men, women, and media going head to head. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Well, the relaunch of the Local Government Junior Council program is underway nationwide, aiming to foster student engagement in various aspects of their schools, including social, political, and recreational activities. The Family Island Administrator for Freeport reveals that 6 schools in Grand Bahama are actively participating in the relaunch, gearing up for the upcoming elections.
We've tried to mimic the election process as closely as possible. So there has been a registration process which would have already happened.
Comparable to local government elections, but on a more modest scale. The Family Island administrator, Kevin Cartwright, asserts that through this program, students will cultivate an understanding of the process. This comprehension, he believes, will pave the way for future career opportunities and, by extension, involvement in national affairs.
Well, the local government junior consular will kind of mimic the consulars that we already have in place within the cities, but they will be the consulars for that particular school, where the school will act as the constituency and the grades will act as the polling division or the areas within the constituencies. So according to the school, we would have a certain amount of persons from that grade, from the grades, which would be nominated for elections.
Nomination day unfolded on Tuesday, October 10th, 2023. The upcoming election day is scheduled for October 19th.
The schools and the students are very excited. They have already spoke about how they're going to be campaigning, what's going to be allowed within the schools. I think 1 or 2 schools mentioned using their assembly time as a time for some of the students to be able to debate, etc., between the nomination time and the election time.
Post-elections, the junior counselors will dive into their responsibilities. Their tasks include addressing ideas and concerns from the student body in their community, accomplishing a minimum of 2 projects during their term, providing assistance to district councils, and adhering to all aspects of local government training.
Each council would be given $4,000 to work with within the school year, and this money will be received through a bank account set up with the post office bank. So they would have their own banking system. They would report just as the local government councils report, and so everything will be as close as possible to real life as we could make it for them.
It's now time for your check on sports.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to sports. High school volleyball got underway after the holiday break. We also have some updates with local basketball, but let's begin with volleyball. Here's Shane Stubbs.
GB Volleyball Association President Whitney Ambrister says the junior volleyball program continues to draw close to 80 kids each and every Saturday at the Moon McPhee Park.
We are using 4 courts today, and we have maximum amount of students on each. So we try to have smaller groups so they could get more reps in.
Since starting in September, the progress has been evident at the high school level.
Especially with Mary Star, because a lot of their kids were coming out, and you could see it in the level of play that they're bringing to the game. And we also have these kids from different schools, so now they're able to assist their schoolmates on what we're doing, what should be done.
And of course, they are thinking long-term for the players.
The end goal is scholarships, national teams, and if we could have some players from Grand Bahama who will be playing on a professional level, then by all means.
The program runs until November 18th and starts at 9 a.m. weekly with registration on location. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Switching gears now in sports, the Grand Bahama Basketball Association is scheduled to have elections this weekend. Rodney Crippy-Wilting is hoping to make a comeback as president of the local basketball league.
I have a great slate behind me, young people who are willing to work. You know, I'm bowing for the president. I have Mr. Eduardo Campo. He's going to be my vice president. Stacia Smith is going to be treasurer, and Mr. Livingston Lewis is wanted to show his name in the hat for commissioner. So we have a hard-working slate, and it takes a great team of people now to bring basketball back to where it used to be. So we have plans to take it back to the community and want to go out there and get some corporate sponsors. Basketball cannot operate unless you have fundings.
And finally in sports, scores from the Oriole Nose Rosina Nesbitt High School Volleyball League with games played at the YMCA. Mary Star defeated Jack Hayward Junior 17-8 and 17-15 in 2 straight sets in junior girls play. BMES Warriors got the win against 8 Mile Rock Blue Jays in 3 sets also in junior girls play. Over in senior girls action, the Blue Jays of 8 Mile Rock edged out Jack Hayward Senior in 3 sets, winning the final one, 15-8. Ladies and gents,
That's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations in Freeport and 8 Mile Rock, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Calling all schools on Grand Bahama. Join ZNS Northern Service as we wage war on breast cancer by participating in the 2nd annual Pink Pumpkins for the Cure. Each school is required to create one pink pumpkin to help spread the message of prevention and early detection. For more details and to sign up for the competition, contact our marketing department at 359-5143. Pink Pumpkins for the Cure. No one fights alone.
Have you ever wondered how electricity gets to your home? Let's start at the beginning. Our teams at our energy plant work around the clock to generate power to be delivered to your home or business. When it leaves the generating facility, electricity first travels to a switch yard that increases the voltage to allow it to travel long distances throughout the island. A network of high voltage transmission lines is the backbone of the electric grid and is used to carry large amounts of electricity across long distances. After completing the first leg of this journey, electricity arrives at the neighborhood substation. The substation's job is to lower the voltage before power can be sent over shorter distances closer to homes and businesses. Once lowered, the electricity is now ready for the final leg of its voyage. When it leaves the substation, it travels along the distribution poles and wires, the ones you see every day around your community. Just outside your home or business, the electricity voltage is further reduced by a pole mount transformer to a level that customers use in their homes or businesses. And now that the electricity has finally reached its destination, it travels through a meter, flows to a service panel, and then to the outlets inside your home. To learn more about how our business operates, visit our website or follow us on Facebook.
Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Derek Carroll, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We are wishing you a happy birthday and we thank you for always watching. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, Feeling the Blues. Prison Head I certification, Flamingo free to fly, and in sports, worth the wait. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. What Obi Wolshcom meant to his family and the country has been pretty much an open book in the 2+ weeks following his sudden death. But in one final tribute, hundreds will pour into the historic Christchurch Cathedral tomorrow morning to bid one last goodbye to a man whose passing many say was profound, but whose dedication and compassion leaves an indelible mark on the country's history. Altovise Munnings gives us a preview tonight of what we can expect on Thursday. Altovise?
Good evening, Makushla, and good evening, Bahamas. Well, 2 months after exiting Parliament for its traditional summer recess, Obi Wolshcom today returned to the House of Assembly, making one final appearance, a solemn farewell to the place where he has long called home. We can tell you that a state funeral for the late minister will be held tomorrow. Fern Carey will share with us some details of Wolshcom's lying in state in our next newscast, but we can tell you that a procession will be center stage in tomorrow's state funeral, which will feature the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, cabinet ministers, and hundreds of family and friends. It will be a solemn moment for a man who many call a great statesman and a great politician. We can tell you that you can tune in to the ZNS network tomorrow morning starting at 9 for live coverage of the state funeral for the late Obi Wolshcom. Reporting live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altovise Munnings. Back to you, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Altovise. Now, ahead of Wolshcom's state funeral, parliamentarians filed into the House of Assembly to mark their condolences and sign the book of condolences, rather, ahead of that tomorrow's ceremony. Our Fern Carey shares more details of Wolshcom's lying in state.
Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, among the members of Parliament, speaking to the legacy of Member of Parliament for West, Grand Bahama and Bimini, the late Obadiah Wolshcom. The Deputy Prime Minister indicated that the fallen Cabinet Minister was a trailblazer who served with distinction as a former Minister of Tourism, leaving behind cutting-edge initiatives and a strong foundation for others to build on.
He has impacted the lives of many individuals through his leadership and his mentorship. He loved the Ministry of Tourism. He served as minister for 10 years, and he was instrumental in leading some important initiatives, including in the area of sports tourism and in film tourism. And these are areas that we are going to continue to work and build on.
Now, plans are also being considered to erect a permanent structure in Grand Bahama in memory of the life and legacy of the late Cabinet Minister.
I think one of those buildings in Grand Bahama should be named after him. I hope that's done and adopted shortly by the government so that his name is properly memorialized. And we will speak to his life more fully when the House resumes in a couple of weeks' time. But until then, we want to make sure that he's properly sent to his rest. The state has paid proper tribute to him, and I think we're doing all that we can to pull out all the stops to ensure that that's properly done.
Opposition leader Michael Pintar described Wolshcom, who was the Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, and government leader in the House of Assembly, as a gifted communicator, not only as a former broadcaster, but in the halls of Parliament.
Obi had an unusual gift. He was formidable as someone who rounded up the discussion in the House of Assembly, and even if the government had a weak showing on a bill, he had a way to extract from what other speakers had said things that might give the government an advantage. So he is a huge loss. We have to find a way to lower the temperature of the kind of nasty exchanges that exist between the political organizations and participants. And I think Obi was, in many ways, a model for that.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Meantime, despite feeling the blues, hundreds flooded the Grand Ballroom of the Bahama Resort to celebrate Wilchcombe's life and legacy. Carla Palmer reports on this.
Family and friends, even those across government departments and ministries, including Social Services, Tourism, and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, attended the hours-long memorial service for the late Obadiah Wilchcombe Wednesday. Among them, former classmate Sylvia Benaby, who reminisced on his school days at his alma mater, Queen's College.
Humble, proud, respectful, eloquent, genuine, leader, communicator, ambitious, pleasant, remarkable, decisive, visionary, a lifelong friend.
As a veteran broadcaster for more than 30 years, Wilchcombe's ZNS family stood in queue.
And I describe him as a friend first, a colleague second, a brother third, and a boss and supporter fourth. And that chronological order describes our life journey. 43 years ago.
He was the consummate professional who demonstrated and demanded excellence. His name, Hercules, was quite appropriate for him because he could take on a Herculean task in a seemingly effortless manner.
Using his broadcasting skills to sharpen his political career, the late Obi Wilchcombe was described as a rare breed of politicians. And as Deputy Prime Minister I. Chester Cooper contends, his impact on the country's #1 industry well documented.
He had high aspirations for the Bahamas as a tourism destination. His leadership drove continued growth and expansion of a destination's business.
Emotionally charged with tears in her eyes, as junior minister to the late Obi Wilchcombe, the Honourable Lisa Ramming remembered the relationship between the two that at first was hard-pressed.
Minister Wilchcombe was not only my boss, but he mentored me, and he was like a father. Now, I can tell you this, it didn't start off that way. I think that was the hardest relationship that I've ever been in. It was hard at the beginning, but so very sweet within the last 8 months.
Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, the Honourable Miles Laroda, spoke on behalf of the Prime Minister and described Wilchcombe as a true leader.
In the House of Assembly in the 2 years of this term, he was neither late nor was he absent. And at our caucus meetings, he was usually one of the first to be there and one of the last to leave.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Still to come, Flamingo Air gets the green light. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Has changed over the past 60 years, but at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, and together we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Since they were on sale, Monique couldn't resist things she didn't need. And neither did Bruno. Hungry for deals? You better come and satisfy that hunger for only $20 at KFC before doing something crazy. Get 8 pieces of juicy, fresh, in-store prepared KFC fried chicken and hot golden fries for only $20. A finger-licking good deal.
We are New Life Natural Company Limited, and we have actually been in the community for now 13 years, serving in the health field. Our diets is probably one of the most poorest diets actually in the Caribbean, and we are really low in the world. As a result of our diet, we are actually inheriting all of these different diseases. So we need to kind of like shift the way how we eat and shift it to eating more healthier food. So we at New Life here, we are trying to change the paradigms. We are actually introducing tasty, healthy options. And so hopefully this SPDC initiative will actually create the awareness, help us to have an understanding of what we are doing, why we are doing it, and help us to begin to shift this paradigm of proper eating, proper dieting, and proper fitness. So our motto is eat well, be well, and let your food be your medicine.
For more information about the Fitness and Wellness Initiative, contact the SPDC at 461-7232.
The late Obadiah Wilchcombe was committed to service and country. A pioneer broadcaster, astute politician, cabinet minister, and one who cared for his community. On Thursday, October 12th, the nation will pay its final respects at a state funeral at Christ Church Cathedral at 11 a.m. Tune into the ZNS network for live coverage of all the proceedings, beginning at 9 a.m.
The seaplane industry, not unique to the Bahamas. In fact, Atlantis Paradise Island Resort anticipates adding daily seaplane flights to the Family Islands real soon. But as Altavis Munnings tells us, public input's needed before they can take flight.
It's been several years now since seaplane traffic dominated eastern New Providence, and that's why residents filled Queens College's auditorium Tuesday night to learn more about Atlantis Paradise Island Resort's intention to acquire a water aerodrome license to reinstate domestic seaplane operations near Montague Bay.
Obviously, there is activity in Montague Bay already with regattas and recreational sailing and sailing lessons and all of that. That has to be factored in. And so we are intending to address those comments in a report back to the Port Department, and the Port Department will have to make a determination.
Atlantis' goal? Creating a very high-end excursion to the Family Islands for its guests, which Senior Vice President of Government Affairs and Special Projects, Vaughn Roberts, assures will open the door to bolster tourism nationwide. Job creation, he says, is also important.
The seaplane operator will create jobs, the ferryboat operator will create jobs, and then all of the excursions to the Family Islands would be done by excursion operators in those islands. So the seaplane would be met by a boat that picks up the folks and takes them for the island excursion. And so there's an opportunity for restaurants and all that stuff to make money off of this.
Well, government's also got a keen eye on this project.
There is an airport at the moment where seaplanes can launch from. If they find a suitable area elsewhere, no doubt there will be a further consultation and the regulators will chime in. This is a matter for the regulators, let me be very clear, and they will make a technical recommendation to the minister and the cabinet of the Bahamas, but that's the order in which it will go.
The venture is also getting endorsement from Bahamas Hotel Tourism Association President Robert Sands.
As the president of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association, it's important that we support member hotels and their ventures to drive business to the Bahamas.
Atlantis officials maintain finding the right location is important for safety in order to successfully reinstate this seaplane service. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings.
And speaking of flights, Flamingo Air spreading its wings tonight following the Civil Aviation Authority's decision to lift last week's moratorium on the airline's fleet. Civil Aviation Chair Devard Francis confirming to our news team that after a careful and intrinsic inspection of Flamingo's aircraft and maintenance record, the authority was satisfied the airline met its prerequisites and as such got the green light to resume operations.
We've suspended the pilots in question for a period of time, and we have dished out penalties to Flamingo Air. The findings of our inspections, we're still compiling our report, and we can't disclose that right now, but as I've said already, we found them to be compliant, and they've satisfied all the prerequisites for Civil Aviation Authority.
Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Frederick Mitchell, can't confirm how many Bahamians are in embattled Israel, but he did tell us officials have been in touch with 3 of them, one of them temporarily in Morocco.
We do not have a diplomatic presence in Israel, but the state of Israel has a responsibility to protect non-citizens, and I'm sure they'll follow the international rules on that. I think he's trying to make arrangements to go. We're in touch with his family, and we've said to them that if there's any consular assistance he needs, we will do our best through our allies to try and deal with that matter.
International online reports state that Israeli forces continue pounding the Gaza Strip for a 5th day, killing at least 1,100 Palestinians. The death toll has climbed to 1,200. The Caribbean is closely watching these events unfold.
Of the hostilities in that part of the world are not something that we enter upon. We've called for the cessation of hostilities as soon as possible. We've also called within the context of the CARICOM statement. There's a statement issued by CARICOM. You can go and see that. We support that statement. And the statement essentially is saying that this is a complex matter. We want cessation of the hostilities. There's a 2-state solution which was drawn up in 1967, and that remains the position.
High expectations and equally taxing demands on newly minted Energy Minister JoBeth Colby Davis. This as the local energy sector has been deeply challenged, with residents wrestling exorbitant fuel and energy charges and businesses bleeding from high operation cost. Minister Colby Davis acknowledges the litany of challenges, adding that it's not going to be a quick fix. Still, there is a plan to accomplish what's laid out in the speech from the throne.
We have quite a lot of work cut out for us. We're bringing some new legislation. We're going to bring some legislation related to the renewable energy sector and also for LNG. And so we're looking to bring alternative fuel mix that will help us to drive the cost of the electricity down. And so it's a lot of work that I'm doing now in the beginning days and the early stages so that I can make sure that I'm well equipped for when we present our strategic plan to the Bahamian people. It's something that we'll be able to achieve in the timelines that we seek to achieve it. So we're doing short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals.
In other news this evening, a tragic end to a vacation in paradise. Police this afternoon confirming the apparent drowning of a 51-year-old Detroit, Michigan woman. Preliminary reports are that the victim was sitting with a male relative on the shoreline of a Paradise Island beach when a strong wave swept them into the water. Both were submerged underwater and rescued by lifeguards. They were taken to hospital where the female died. As for the other victim, at last report, he was in stable condition. The matter's under active investigations. Well, wife of the Prime Minister, Anne-Marie Davis, speaking out following the attempted suicide of a 14-year-old girl on Monday. Addressing a group of school-aged girls, Mrs. Davis stressed the importance of taking care of mental health, relaying to the girls and teens in general the message that they're not alone.
You're young.
And you need your mind. Your mind is still developing. Your mind is developing until you're like 21, 22 years old. So you have to look after your mind. If anything is happening to you that you cannot handle, that makes you depressed, anxious, you cannot learn, you cannot do anything, you have to seek help. Tell your guidance counselor, your parent, or someone you trust. You have to do this because you're young, valued.
Millions have already been invested into renovating the Bahamas Department of Corrections, but for the facility to reach a crucial goal, it just may take more. Cleopatra Murphy has an update on efforts to take the facility from punitive to reform.
The Bahamas Department of Corrections is embarking on an ambitious goal to be certified by the American Correctional Association before the end of next summer. They are also working with Correctional Services Canada to bring the Fox Hill facility up to par, but Acting Commissioner of Corrections Don Clare acknowledges it will be both a difficult and expensive task.
Thus far, we have spent thousands of dollars trying to implement what was asked of us to do for the remand center, for the juvenile facility, and for the female institutions. These are the three facilities that we're hoping to be certified by the 10th of August next year. Because, we want to invite the minister to go to Louisiana to accept that prize of being one of the first facilities to be certified in the Caribbean.
To that end, he says the facility has started a huge campaign on policies and procedures and is addressing the lack of training among staff, having recently completed training for some 30 employees on dealing with mentally ill inmates. Claire admits training was severely lacking.
We have 15 persons going to Canada in the next 2 weeks, and we have 25 going to Italy in the next month. So that training is taking place, to seek certification. Now, again, our major challenge will be that sloping portion. Sloping been with us for 54 years, and we have to try to do our best to see how we can put some toilets, not in maximum now, in the remand center.
That alone comes with a $1.8 million price tag, but Claire says certification will not be achieved without it. Renovation of the aged prison has been a key component, with officials having spent $2 million alone on renovations at the remand center last year. Claire adds that the certification team, which visits every 3 months, the last time in September, has also mandated proper ventilation in the facility.
One of the certification requirements is that we allow for natural light and natural air to flow through the facility. Because, some parts of the facility, you don't feel nothing. It's just stagnant air. So we are now, we had some consultants came in the other day, and they are now, they have given us a solution for us to pull some fresh air from the...
After we reported a theft at the Bahamas Red Cross's JFK Drive head offices, where thieves got away with nearly $80,000 worth of equipment, the humanitarian organization is tonight the beneficiary of a $100,000 donation. Corville Pyfrom joins us from the Red Cross's head office, where the Bahamar Foundation has just turned tears to smiles.
The Bahamar Foundation coming to the swift aid of the Bahamas Red Cross in a big way Wednesday. Just days after thieves stole equipment worth tens of thousands from the humanitarian agency's JFK location, the foundation donating a generous $100,000 to the organization.
This donation this afternoon is a demonstration of our commitment and support at a crucial time to the organization that is vital to our community and to the integral part it plays in providing a wide range of assistance to those in need.
Red Cross Managing Director Alicia Pinder, who fought back tears Tuesday, she spoke to reporters about the incident, this time fought back tears of joy.
This gift, by the way, this donation is overwhelming and it's an answer to prayer and both of us wanted to cry when we heard of it, because that's just how impactful it was to us.
It is important to point out that nothing like this has ever happened before in the society's 84-year history. Now, officials taking swift action in response to this. That fencing where the thieves gained access to the property has been redone. They've also welded shut the trailers that they stole those items from, and they're doing the best they can to ensure that thieves stay out.
The person or persons, we understand that there was many of 3 of them, were clever in their movements around this property to get to where they got to. But we are satisfied that we are taking all the measures that are necessary to, one, to safeguard the area that was vandalized, and also taking further measures to ensure that we can mitigate against any such incidents happening in the future.
And Makushla, as promised, we are here now with the Senior Vice President of Governmental and External Affairs at Baha Mar, Mr. Robert Sands. Mr. Sands, thanks for being with us tonight. And the Baha Mar Foundation, came quickly to the aid of the Bahamas Red Cross Society with a check of $100,000 so speedily. How come?
Well, we has been an avid supporter of the Red Cross for many years. And one of the tenets of our resort foundation is that of community. And we were incensed by the robbery, and we thought that there would be an immediate need to be filled, and we responded accordingly.
And your president referred to this as really an obscene crime.
It is, because why would you take from someone who gives back to so many of us in times of need? During adversity, those we feed, we clothe, we transport, we house. The Red Cross does all of that. And to take away such sizable funding from them puts them in a deep hole, and we thought it important to take them out of that hole very quickly.
Reporting live for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom. Back over to you, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Corvell. Marcellus Hall joins us in studio with a check on what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for this evening, DeAndre Ayton making his debut with the Portland Trailblazers. We'll tell you how he did just ahead in sports.
Tourism today. Bahamas Tourism today.
In an interview, Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Senator Randy Roll addressed the ongoing efforts of the Downtown Revitalization Project. In collaboration with the Ministry of Public Works and the Water and Sewage Corporation, the initiative aims to bring some relief to the flooding issues of downtown Nassau.
Resolving the flooding issue is a long-term goal, one of the long-term goals in our project. But we have identified some of the key areas where we've noticed that there was a lot of blockage in the culvert. We, along with the Ministry of Works, Water and Sewage, and a team from tourism, we got together. We did a walkthrough as it relates to Daswell Street and east of Elizabeth Avenue. And we've noticed that there were lots of blockages there. They've done some cleanings. I think it's on the southern side where there's the Bethel Estates. And we believe that even though it's a short-term fix, certainly it may give us some temporary relief.
The senator also pointed out the need for additional solutions to improve existing sewage infrastructure within the downtown area.
There has to be a lot of change as it relates to the pipes. And so it's something that we're going to work with government, and something that the Deputy Prime Minister will address with his colleagues as to how do we fix it permanently in the long term. We are happy that it should bring some small relief for now as we continue to do our research, look at ways to ease some of the burden as it relates to East Bay Street.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
You can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. Say if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house. FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. Located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
She may be there in an interim capacity, but University of the Bahamas President Janine Hodder still has goals, and that includes transforming UB into a top-tier institution on the global scene. Tonight, our Lloyd Allen brings you the first in a 5-part series.
Overall development is an important ingredient towards success for any organization, and since its establishment, the University of the Bahamas has incorporated just that. In fact, its newest president, Janine Hodder, says since taking office just a few months ago, that's been a daily focus of enhancing the university both structurally and nationally.
Well, I think there are an awful lot of talented, creative, mid-career Bahamians, many of them in faculty ranks, some of them in management ranks, that have all the capacity to build the future.
President Janine Hodder believes this process begins with elevating UB from the belly up.
It was great to come back and see that we launched a first-year experience, that we were welcoming students at orientation, that we were welcoming their parents, that we were trying to help them throughout the entire first year connect to the institution, join this community. Really happy to see students seek counseling. We're really happy to listen to the growth of the Student Government Association. And I don't know if you've spoken to them, but they have some interesting ideas about creating a walk safe program, a buddy program, and getting students engaged in protecting the community, their fellow students.
Accreditation also high on UB's list of goals, as there are 10 standards locally and 14 internationally.
And for each of those standards, we have to answer 3 questions. Who are we, what do we do, and how do we do it? And sometimes the answer is pretty easy. We're a university, we give degrees. Sometimes the answer is more complicated. So we have an army of roughly 100 people distributed in 14 teams that are looking to answer that question.
Meantime, President Hodder has committed to ensuring that all programs offered align with international goals by way of a number of advisory boards.
We know that not all Bahamians leave high school with all the qualifications they need to access post-secondary education. What can we do together with BTVI, with other partners, to facilitate the creation of bridges for people who they want a second chance?
Responding to the question of the university's overall objective, Hodder says it's to be the first choice in learning for all Bahamians.
We're also going to be doing a skills program in Eleuthera in January. So in addition to all the regular work we do, giving programs, doing graduate work, we're trying to find all kinds of ways to be closer and closer to the employers and to meet the needs of the country.
Next, in the series, propelling access to learning for students with physical or mental challenges. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, amid an unprecedented year of violence against women and girls comes International Day of the Girl Child, a day designed to increase the awareness of the inequalities girls face worldwide while tackling them head-on. Our Antoinette Smith was today at Breezy Super Club as one non-profit organization took time out to celebrate with more than 100 school-aged girls.
It may very well be a school day, but it's still Girls' Day Out.
Let me tell you something, young lady. You are all that and a bag of chips.
It's all a part of International Day of the Girl, a globally recognized event born out of a United Nations resolution in 2011, which aims to highlight the unique challenges that girls face, as well as advocate for their protection.
A lot of young women are dealing with molestation. They're dealing with issues where they don't feel safe. They don't feel that their voices count. They're not taken seriously. We're also getting a vast amount of peer pressure, not just only from peers, but I should say pressure in itself, academic pressure, social pressure, a pressure to not just feel beautiful, to be beautiful.
That's why Straw Inc. for the past 11 years has hosted an annual Girls' Day Out, creating a space where the school-age girls can not only feel protected, but see their value.
When young girls see their value, it boosts your self-confidence, your self-esteem. You believe in yourselves, you believe in your abilities, and you start pursuing your dreams and your goals. You throw off, you dust yourself off, and you continue.
According to United Nations, 1 in 5 girls worldwide are at risk of not completing junior high school. 4 in 10 will not graduate high school. But still, a spot of optimism sits on the horizon, with the UN noting that despite challenges, more than 1.1 billion girls are poised to take on the future.
For us as community leaders, for us as adults, and for us as women, we're supposed to pass along the baton to make certain that our young women, they can take their rightful spots.
The girls of today, the leaders of tomorrow. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Antoinette Smith.
The third in a series of honorees recognized Tuesday evening as part of the 2023 National Heroes Investiture Ceremony. Lloyd Allen has more from that event.
The third in a series of investiture ceremonies taking place at the Lower Grounds Government House on Tuesday. A number of persons were recognized for their diligence in nation building and philanthropy.
Each of them, in their unique ways, play a role in our nation's story. A true hero's worth is defined not by accolades, but by character. Tonight's honorees have been heroes long before they received any formal recognition.
With the keynote delivered by the nation's chief, each of the honorees possessing his or her own story of triumph and perseverance, like career educator Philip William Dorset, community activist Kino Wong, and retired police officer Maisel Hinsey, all receiving their Distinguished Service Medal.
When I got the call about this, I was wondering what it was about. And then I was told that because I was the first female police officer in Bimini, as a Bimonite, I felt good about myself because I know what I had done.
I represent so many diverse young people in our communities, and tonight is a dividend to know that this can be a stepping stone for other great young people who can serve in our country.
This is something that I did not expect, but because, my family, my mother, who was a teacher, she gave service. I came behind, gave service, loved it.
These honorees also providing this advice to other hopefuls.
I'm happy to be an example or kind of role model for young men to see that, you should be here also.
A lot of them would say to me, Ms. Hinsey, I like what you do. I want to be doing what you are doing. And so I'm going to tell you, it's there for you to do.
Wong also getting a hats off from his daughter Sanaya, who couldn't be more proud of him, now recognized nationally as a leader.
Thank you, Daddy.
Since its formalization through legislation in 2016, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Investiture of National Heroes continues to shine the spotlight on Bahamians going above and beyond to honor the Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
Sometimes life hints at your next step, sending you signs all around, even in unexpected places, to lead you in the right direction. The signs are clear. It's time to pay less for your current mortgage and switch to Scotiabank. Enjoy lower interest rates and no payments up to 2 months when you switch your mortgage to Scotiabank. Plus, we'll even pay your switch costs. Paying less gives you more when you switch to Scotiabank.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Walk into any Super Value and Quality Supermarkets location and walk out with great savings like Libby Spaghetti and Meatballs, 15 ounce, $1.49. Rainbow Corned Beef, 12 ounce, $2.39. Amalanda Milk, 1 liter, 2 for $2.50. Center Cut Pork Chops, $2.69 per pound. Iceberg lettuce, $1.99 each. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
The late Obadiah Wilshcombe was committed to service and country. A pioneer broadcaster, astute politician, cabinet minister, and one who cared for his community. On Thursday, October 12th, the nation will pay its final respects at a state funeral at Christ Church Cathedral at 11 a.m. Tune into the ZNS network for live coverage of all the proceedings, beginning at 9 a.m.
Well, as we reported earlier, the Bahamas Red Cross Society recently fell victim to thieves who carted off nearly $80,000 worth of equipment. This will undoubtedly impact the Society's ability to do a lot of its work, especially on the Family Islands. And that's why several of the organization's past presidents are appealing to the public for assistance, while also reminding of the work the Red Cross has been doing in the Bahamas for more than 80 years. Lady Ingrid Darling and Beverly Wallace Whitfield continue to be active members of the organization.
We don't just come and go. We build buildings. We help with the hurricanes, and we're always there. And it's a symbol of hope and help all over the world.
I've never regretted being a part of this particular organization, because it helps everybody, anybody, in so many areas and in so many ways. It's really, as I say, my major charity. And as long as I live, I will be a member of the Bahamas Red Cross Society.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather, and for that we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. We have cloudy skies this evening. Temperature 83 degrees, the relative humidity just around 78%. Southerly winds at 5 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,011.3 millibars. That's 29.86 inches. And your temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 82 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tool Key, and Marshall, Babaco. The Berry Islands, 81. Alistown, Bimini, 86 degrees, 83 in Harper Island. Rock, Sandy, Lutra, Black Point, Exuma, and Camps Bay, South Andros, all at 84 degrees. Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 83 degrees. 84s again in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rumkey, and Georgetown, Exuma, 84s in Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 86, Acklands, 86, Matthew, Nagua, 88, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 84 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the Northwestern Islands tonight, those Wednesday will be south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots. Wave fights 2 to 4 feet. The low tide will take place at 56 minutes past midnight. And for the central and southeastern islands tonight, southeast to south winds 10 to 15 knots. Wave fights 2 to 4 feet. Tomorrow, the winds will increase 12 to 18 knots out of the south to southwest in the northwestern parts of the country. Wave fights building 3 to 6 feet, so caution flags go up tomorrow. High tide will occur 7 in the morning. You can expect the low tide at 1:12 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands tomorrow, southerly winds 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And as we take you into Friday in the northwest parts of our country, the winds reduce once again, southwest to west 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights subsiding 2 to 4 feet. So we'll drop that caution flag on Friday. The high tide would take place at 7:37 in the morning, with the low tide at 1:52 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands on Friday, we will have light and variable winds with flat seas 1 to 3 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Have you ever purchased a defective item and was denied an exchange or cash refund? Contact the Consumer Protection Commission at 393-7795-8 or our 24-hour complaints hotline at 357-7898 and let us help your voice be heard.
Hey, get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
Hey, Mom, can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry, I'll be out for a while dealing with my home and car insurance.
What? You know there's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been? Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim.
Oh? By the way, it's not newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Topping us off this evening, big news coming out of the NBA. We've been telling you about Kai Jones and his issues with the Charlotte Hornets. Apparently, the team has had enough after Kai made a public request to be traded. The team has answered by waiving him. The first-round draft pick now without a team. We'll see whether or not that will affect his continued NBA tenure. Based off what we've seen so far, though, it seems as if Kai will now have to figure out a way to stay in the NBA ranks. This after being waived by the Charlotte Hornets just a few hours ago. Again, this coming in just into our studios, and apparently Kai now will be without an NBA team for the foreseeable future. One of those veteran teams hopefully will pick him up. We'll keep an eye on this developing issue and give you all the details as, indeed, it continues to build up. But Kai Jones right now, as of right now, no longer a member of the Charlotte Hornets, which means we have two active players in the NBA, that being DeAndre Ayton and, of course, Buddy Hield. Kai Jones waived by the Charlotte Hornets. Yesterday, we told you how track and field athlete Kayvon Culmer got a much-needed show of support from his employers at Arac Homes as he continues his preparations for the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Well, tonight, Charles Fisher tells us that that's not the only big jump being made.
Kayvon now takes his talent to train with Olympic Games medalist and national triple jump record holder Levon Superman Sands in Florida. For him, joining Sands' camp was a no-brainer.
Really look much into any other options. It was just, that's it, and I know that's where it is. That's why I love the support. And, you know, I just thank him for taking me on.
Culmer has always looked up to Sands as a role model and mentor for what he has been through.
I mean, going to meets, you know, when I needed the words of encouragement or not, he's always been there for me. When I looked at places to go and train, I saw many individuals of different nationalities who have camps set up and what's not. And I just thought, why wouldn't it be the best go on one of the national heroes of our country who have already done it, who know what it is to get there.
And training with a fellow Bahamian is just that, family.
Just having people there who you know you could trust, who you know you could go to, if whether it be I'll be there and I need a Thanksgiving meal, or if we decide to stay back for Christmas, whether it's go to a house and having a family around. That's I think that speaks for a lot in terms of our Bahamian people.
As for Sands' reaction when Culmer told him of his decision to venture overseas?
I don't think he really believed me at first when I said I was coming, because he knew that I needed to put some things in place for myself. So his reaction to me was, all right, then let's get it done. But it wasn't like all right, let's go, you know. It was like let's get it done.
Now he is with the Superman, another childhood dream coming through.
You know, I think it was Carifta in the Bahamas one day, and I was a little kid. And I remember him running around the runway, and I remember my dad saying, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman, you know? so I remember that.
Best of luck as he looks to soar in Paris, France in 2024. Culmer, by the way, leaves Thursday for Tallahassee, Florida. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
All right, thanks, Fisher. Well, the sport of powerlifting now looking to make a return following this past weekend's event hosted by the Fitness Connection and by Empire Fitness Gym. It seems as if the athletes are loving the return to competition.
I initially started gymming in general as an attempt to lose weight, so I dropped a huge amount of weight, and then I found interest in powerlifting from persons that I started training around, and the love for it just grew.
Companies like this, you know, they build good camaraderie amongst the athletes, and they also, by having this like this, can bring more awareness to the sport, to the greater public, and try to build the sport back up.
And NBA preseason action last night. DeAndre Ayton playing just 15 minutes in his Portland Trailblazers debut. He had 8 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block shot. Team wins at 106-66, a beatdown of the New Zealand national squad. Now stepping up in competition will be coming their way in their next game as DeAndre faces his former team in the Phoenix Suns. That comes your way on Thursday. And that's your check on sports for you here on this Tuesday. Don't go anywhere. We do have that final look at the weather. That's coming up right after this.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
What's a Sand Dollar rebate? It's the digital Bahamian dollar back in your wallet. Top up any Sand Dollar enabled digital wallet and make a purchase of $50 or more in Sand Dollars at Super Value, Quality Supermarkets, Solomon's Fresh Market, or Sawyer's Fresh Market. Get up to $25 back when you redeem your rebate online between September 15th and October 15th at sanddollar.bs/rebate. Rules and restrictions apply.
Each day is special when you save at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Sawyer's mayonnaise, 30-ounce, $2.99. Campbell's Chunky Soups, 19-ounce, $3.19. Fresh tomatoes, $1.99 per pound. Amelanda milk, 1 liter, 2 for $2.50. Danish spare ribs, $2.79 per pound. October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Together, we can make a difference. Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
First we plan, then we innovate, then we build. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we are committed to quality, to safety, and to service. We know that the road you take is just as important as your final destination. At Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, it is our job to make sure the road and the ride are as smooth as possible. From striping roads to building them, we are the right choice, the trusted choice, the only choice to help you build your tomorrow.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, the tropics active again this evening. We have now Tropical Storm Sean at 5 o'clock. It was some 815 miles to the west-southwest of the Cape Verde Islands, moving west-northwest at about 13 miles per hour. And we expect a general northwesterly motion over the next couple of days before it shifts to a more westerly direction, which will take us into the middle of next week as it approaches the Lesser Antilles. But we don't anticipate much change in terms of its intensity over the next several days. And then just behind Sean, we have a very active tropical wave just off the African coast. This now has about a 30% chance of development. We'll keep our eye on this one as well as it continues to progress towards the west. Closer to home, we have a frontal boundary well to the north of us, which backed up last evening, dumping some heavy rains and thunderstorms over the northwest Bahamas. That will eventually move back towards the southeast and should move back into our area sometime on Monday, bringing with it again some showers, but behind it, there will be a nice little cool down taking place as well. Tonight, we're looking at 91 degrees and your extended weather forecast. We expect warm temperatures right into Saturday, and there will be those pockets of showers and thunderstorms a bit more numerous on Saturday as that front boundary gets a little closer. As we said, the front goes through late Sunday, early Monday, and that's where we will see daytime temperatures dropping into the mid to low 80s during the day. daytime, and those nighttime temperatures in the low 70s, possibly even some upper 60s as we get that frontal system out of the way. Makishla?
Well, thanks, Basil. An avid junk canoeer, Obie Wilscomb's life is being celebrated by junk canoe community this evening in Rawson Square. Our LaDon Davis is there. LaDon, what can you tell us?
Well, Makushla, is about to feel like Christmas in October as all of the major junk canoe groups are expected to bring all of their energy and their A game here in the square to rush for the late Obadiah Wilscomb. Now, as I can tell you, this event is hosted by the Junk Canoe Corporation of New Providence. And if you didn't know, the late Obadiah Wilscomb was a member and a fan of the Shell Saxon Superstars. Now, I'm joined by the Public Relations Officer, as we all know, Kendanique Campbell-Moss. Kendanique, I know you've had a close relationship with the late Obadiah Wilscomb. Talk us a little bit about that.
The Honorable Obadiah was a wonderful person. He saw beyond the cultural and political divides. He was an avid junk canoeer, an avid culturalist, and I must say that he gave many of us our start at the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation. And if you often hear me coin the term, or if you always hear me say the phrase, "Welcome to the islands of the Bahamas," that was coined by Obadiah, and he always said, you know, go out and give it your best shot. When you come to impress. You're selling the islands of the Bahamas. This is an archipelago, and we have so much to offer. Obie was a pioneer for the Ministry of Tourism, and he was also a huge Saxon Superstar member. In addition to that, we had one particular year, we had Welcome to the Islands of the Bahamas. We brought tourism, and Obadiah was on one of our leads. You can see him very majestically in his sailor hat atop of our lead costume, and we brought the music that morning as well because he loved Bahamian music. So this, for us, is a small give back in terms of what the Saxon Superstars are bringing out this evening.
What is this going to mean for not only Obie but his family, for the junk canoe community to do something like this to remember him?
Well, you know, oftentimes people think that junk canoe happens in silo, but this is an amalgamation of all of the groups. We are here to show our love for Obadiah. We are here to show the outpouring of love that, of course, he gave to us. And a lot of people don't realize that he gave us more than just the opportunity to come and traverse down the boulevard. Obie gave us ideas, he gave us a lot of support, and he was just an all-around good person. I don't think that you can find anybody in our group or any other group that can say that there was anything different. Obie gave it his best, he gave us his best, and the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation was all the better for it. And so when you hear the term, "Welcome to the islands of the Bahamas," you can't help but think of Obie, and he gave me my first start. Obie said to me, "Kendanique, I'm going to put this mic in your hand," and I will never, never, never forget him. He gave me an opportunity as a young girl just fresh out of university, and I will always be very beholding to him for that. I couldn't miss the opportunity to come out and to do what I had to do for my once boss.
So the Saxons and yourself, they're going to do a special dance.
Well, this one for Obie. This one for Obie. Now, for Christmas and New Year's, that for junk canoe. But this one is for Obie. This one is for Obie. Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much, Kendanique. Now, Makushla, that event is expected to take place here in Rawson Square at 8 p.m. sharp, and I'm sure once you're done, you'll want to come out here. Everyone in the newsroom want to come out here in support and to honor the late Obadiah Wilscomb. Back to you in studio.
Well, thanks, LaDon. An awesome way to memorialize the late Obadiah Hercules Wilscomb. And that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching